Hundreds of British families are trialling a ban on social media for their teenagers. The test's part of the government's debate on whether the UK should replicate Australia's decision to make social media illegal for under-16s to have access to social media sites. Well, here with me now is Ellen Room, a mother who's been fighting for years to find out why her son Jules took his own life. And Ellen, you clearly believe that social media played a part in this. Thank you so much for coming in and talking about this in person. First of all, what are your feelings about this government consultation?
I feel like we've talked about this for years and years and years. You know, why don't see the need for a consultation? We're talking about curfews and things that children won't be able to see it after a certain time. They're still going to be able to see harm during whatever hours they aren't curfewing. So I just don't think there's any need. We've talked about it for long enough and absolutely think we should raise the age to 16.
So in your mind, should there just be an outright ban? Those under 16 shouldn't have access to social media?
Yes, well, it's not a blanket ban as such, but I think for the point of view of the harmful sites where you've got children on being located, things like Snapchat, where they can locate where a child is, why have we got children on these platforms that we've got predators knowing exactly where a child is? That can't be right. And then we've got continuous scrolling, which we all know is harmful for children. It's addictive by design. The product is faulty. And if it was a product in any other area, they would take it off the child, fix it, and I think it needs to be on the technology companies to fix it and hand it back if they can make it safe.
And in terms of the technology companies, how much of this do you think is that their algorithms seem to tap into the worst of human behaviours and the most great of human vulnerabilities?
Yeah. You've got children whose brains are not fully developed on platforms where they are feeding our children material. And, you know, we've talked enough about algorithms. We know that this material is being fed to children. I just don't understand why we're just not taking it away and protecting them. And this morning we wrote a letter to all of the peers debating it tonight in the House of Lords, backed by 21 of us as bereaved parents, to say we don't want anybody else to be in our position. We need this to be removed from children. It's just not suitable for them.
If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about Jules and what you think contributed to him taking his own life.
So Jules was 14 back on the 13th of April, almost 4 years ago, sorry, April 22, and there was nothing found offline in his inquest, so there was no mental health issues, no bullying, there was nothing. And so I've always said, well, if there was nothing offline, what was online? And I haven't been able to get Jules's data. Just over a week ago, the Attorney General has granted me permission to redo Jules's inquest. But to do that, we have to go to the High Court, which we're applying to the High Court. And if they grant us permission, we get to redo his inquest, which means we can use the Data Use and Access Act, which came out last year, to demand social media companies release his data.
It must be insanely frustrating, because I imagine in any other set of circumstances, if something nefarious was affecting your child, you as a parent would be able to gain access to it. How frustrating is that?
I think that's what shocked most people. I was one parent that stood up and said, this is wrong. As a parent, you have no legal right to see what your children look at, which I just think is fundamentally wrong. I was responsible for him when he was alive. You know, surely I should be able to see what he was looking at. And the fact that the social media companies won't give me his browsing data and his messages, you think, well, what are they hiding? If there was nothing to hide, wouldn't they just hand that over and say, here you go, bereaved parent, I hope you get some answers? They're choosing not to. Well,
and it's not like there aren't structures around life in terms of the classification of films or what books you might put in front of your child. You as parents try and protect them from those things that are just not quite suitable for them at the age they're at.
Correct. And as a parent, it's that you're unable to continuously look over your child's shoulder to see what they are fed. And yes, you might be able to see what they've searched for, but we know that children are being fed things without them looking for it. And I just think, why have we got children being fed pornographic material? I mean, most children by the age of 12 have seen pornography. I mean, that's fundamentally wrong. Why are we not taking this away? It just doesn't make sense. And I think we've debated it for long enough and it needs to go.
What would your message be to the Prime Minister? I mean, this is somebody who has teenagers and has spoken about this very subject.
Yep.
What would be your message to him today?
I think if there was any member of Parliament that had lost a child, this would be taken away overnight. And so we come together as a group of bereaved parents in our own time to say we don't want anybody else to be in our position. And it's heartbreaking. There's going to be 6 of us as bereaved parents in the House of Lords desperately hoping that they once again agree to, you know, raise the age. But then we go through this ridiculous stage of going back and forth on ping pong with the House of Commons. So I don't know what will happen, but I wish they would listen and do something now, not continue talking about it for years on end.
Are you going to keep going? You're not going to give up?
No way am I giving up, no.
It's really lovely to talk to you, Alan. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Now let's get a look at the weather.